So this is Dwight from Forest Glory 700 coming back at you. Here are some of the guys. These guys are woke. They actually, I'm black. These guys actually know.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's called For His Glory, one word, For His Glory 700.
See, and how would you think he would?
Anyways, I'm not going to interrupt these guys. These guys were talking some truth, but just beyond them, I'm just going to record this, is actually the rally for Black Lives Matter. It followed the protest that we had for the anti-lockdown of the Canadian economy by those that think they have authority over us. So anyways, I'm back to these guys. These guys are dropping some truth bombs, and I'm not going to interrupt them. I'm not going to interrupt you guys.
I'm curious, like, your position, being a black man.
You're not supposed to.
And I don't want to talk hashtags either.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like, where would you? How do you see this whole thing?
Oh, the whole thing with Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, the things that are unfolding in the States.
You're good. You put me on the spot, but I'm okay with that.
I didn't mean to flip
No.
conversation.
It's actually okay, brother. Actually, I think very differently as it relates to the actual organization of Black Lives Matter. That organization doesn't represent me as an individual. I think that organization has been set in place by those that run the world system. That is my personal belief. And I believe, unfortunately, a lot of people in the black community that might mean well by the idea of Black Lives Matter are being influenced and used for the purposes of the system that's being run to control all of us, not just blacks, but people of all ethnicities, of all backgrounds, of all walks of life. So this rally that they're having over here right now is in support of George Floyd, that was apparently killed and murdered by law enforcement officers. That is the narrative that they're giving to us. It was like I was saying to Kyle over here, I'm just gonna zoom over on him. He was mentioning to me that, you know what, the media has told us that as a result of the actions of law enforcement that George Floyd is no longer with us. In other words, he's deceased, he's dead. That is what the media has presented to us. I'm saying to you, my friend, I personally do not know if George Floyd is dead. I know that sounds ridiculous.
Right. No,
I know it sounds insane, but I'm saying I have no proof personally as an individual that he's actually dead. No more than I would with Jeffrey Epstein. You remember we were told that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide? And that was the end of him. Right. What I'm saying is I don't know if even he's dead. I'm of the mindset that the guy probably isn't dead. But as it relates to Black Lives Matter, I think that the community is being influenced to think along a particular course of action. And all the riots and violence and looting and stealing and burning of buildings that we see in the States and apparently in other parts of the world where it should not be affecting them, all of a sudden these types of actions and behaviors are being promoted by the media, and I'd say by politicians, because their motive is to subjugate all of us, to bring in martial law, to make sure that the freedoms that we once have, we no longer have. And I think this Black Lives Matter, the riots that are happening in the States with George Floyd, or supposedly representative of George Floyd, is all part of the New World Order, the one world government, the system of the beast. I absolutely believe it with all my heart. It's all interconnected. They're all linked.
Chaos.
Oh yeah, the
chaos.
Yeah, the chaos is the same thing. Because think about it. We're still supposed to be under this pandemic, right? So if we're under a pandemic, we're not supposed to be practicing.
We're not social distancing.
Yeah, we're social distancing and all that. But you know what? It actually makes sense, brother. Because think about this for a moment. What they're going to do, because remember, we're supposed to have the second wave, remember? The second wave is supposed to happen at the end of the summer, going into the fall, especially around the U.S. elections. So guess what they're going to say? They're going to tell us, you know what, folks, because of the riots that were ensuing throughout the United States of America and very much around the world related to George Floyd's death, so-called, the numbers for COVID has gone through the roof, and as a result, we're going to have to go back into lockdown mode because this virus has mutated, it has changed, and people are going to start dropping like flies. Although our experiences tell us no, it's not. But that's what they're going to do in the fall, especially around the elections. And most of these people that you see over here, and everyone else, they're going to buy into that lie. That is my position. I think Black Lives Matter is a political organization. It does not represent me as an individual. and I don't think it represents most people, whether you're black, white, or somewhere in between. That's just my thoughts on Black Lives Matter.
That's a valid point. So
Yeah.
due to the fact that people are no longer socially distancing, due to the riots and everything else,
Right.
The virus got mutated.
Yes. Yep, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
your fault.
Yeah, it's our fault now. It's
Right.
everyone else's fault.
We got to shut down.
We got to shut down everything, and it's going to be a lot worse than ever before. So that's my take on that. You know what I mean? And of course, it's also supposed to create a racial divide among blacks and whites and people of other ethnicities or colors or whatever. We're all one people, but it works under this world system. And those that are, I call them COVID cult members. So when you see people walking around with masks over their noses and their mouth, they're identifying themselves as being enslaved by that very system. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they look at you and I that are not wearing the mask and saying, you're the cause of this problem.
We're the cause of it.
Yeah.
So next time you drive your car, wear your mask in the car. Next time you're jogging, jog with a mask. I mean, like, it's ridiculous.
What about when they're making love to their partner? Should they wear a mask? I'm sorry, I had to throw that in.
Should.
Maybe they should. You know,
Too safe.
that is so right, brother. You're absolutely right.
Hey,
So-
listen, how about this? I bet you any money that's going to be the next fetish out there in the world. Masks. Leather ones.
Yeah, the leather. Now you stop.
Oh my God, I should.
I know, but that is funny.
Revealing too much. Scratch that.
You know, that's what it is. But thank you, brother. Do you have anything else to say on the matter?
What can I say? I don't know.
Because you're part of the rally for the anti-lockdown, right? That's what you were here for
But
primarily, right?
You know, I've walked around BLM, and I mean, like, choking a black man. You know what? Absolutely, that's murder.
Well, of course it is. Absolutely.
8 minutes,
Yeah.
you're choking the guy out.
Yeah.
Right, by
Yeah,
any means.
that's right.
But it's the response.
Yes.
It's the response. It's the response to COVID-19. It's the response to the killing of George Floyd. It's
Exactly.
our response. It's us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
I just hope we wake up and we're able to carry a dialogue based on truth and logic.
Right. But you know what? The other thing with Black Lives Matter that I usually tend to point out is the fact that unfortunately there tends to be a high concentration or a high volume of violence within the black community
Sorry,
itself.
what?
Violence
Violence.
within the black community itself. And apparently in America, this is what I've been told, and this is the information I've received online, that over 50% of the homicides in the United States of America is based on black on black crime or violence. And that the black community in America represents somewhere between 11 to 13% of the US population. So with Black Lives Matter, I think we need to really focus on addressing the issues within our own community. Right? If
That's where it gets
50% of
touchy, right?
it gets very touchy, but that's 50% of the homicides are committed by people within our own community from our own. So that to me seems to be a greater problem than again, I'm not American, but
You got to call it what it is.
I just don't see, for example, that, okay, yeah, if a white officer kills a black officer, it's wrong. If a white officer kills another black civilian and it's unwarranted, that's wrong. That's just as wrong.
Yeah.
But I think, again, I believe our people or my people are being manipulated and controlled by the system to create a racial divide, to believe that the system that we're currently under is out to only oppress us. But the greatest success for blacks overall throughout the world has been in westernized nations. That's my observation. We've come across millionaires and billionaires that have created their wealth from so-called nations that are supposed to be racist. So to me that seems to make very little sense if European lands have it in for black people. You know what I mean? That's just my take on that. You know?
There's always a few bad apples here
Yeah,
and there. right?
absolutely,
But I mean,
brother. Absolutely.
I got to the point where I was like,
Absolutely.
I was eating more comfortable.
You know, but thank you for sharing your thoughts
Thank you, man.
on Black Lives Matter, but more importantly, the fact that this is all part of it's all part of the lie, really. It's all part of the agenda to keep people divided and to have us to believe that these things are not interconnected when they are all completely connected. You know what I'm saying?
And the solution is this. This is exactly it.
Exactly.
Discourse.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Even if we disagree.
Yes.
Even if tempers rise.
Yes.
Okay, as long as we're not harming each other.
Exactly.
Mutual respect.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you so much.
Be blessed, okay?
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.